Chainsaw Man is a series, where absurd individuals, with absurd powers are commonplace. Where we have men with chainsaws for heads, that eat other strange creatures who may or may not have weapons for faces and erase them and that which they represent from existence. So it's safe to say that, we have a good grasp of what is and isn't powerful in this verse. Or do we? Because honestly, I see several characters of immense promise being overlooked time and time again by the community because they were unfortunately put up against foes which were the absolute counter to the more simple don't have great feats because they weren't given such a chance to shine. So, in this video I am going to call out 3 underappreciated powerhouses and explain to you why they are overlooked and why they most definitely shouldn't be. But before that, if this is the first video of mine or you're a returning watcher who has yet to hit the subscribe button, you should do that, so as to keep up to date with any of my other Chainsaw Man related content. But with that said, let's get on with the video, starting off with one of the main trio. Aki is the most normal person in all of Chainsaw Man's main cast. In fact, we have that told to us over and over and over again by different people. We are told how him being normal means he isn't fit to be a devil hunter and how he'll die early because he is too normal. But when you look at what he managed to accomplish, as well as what exactly he has going for him, he is anything but normal. For starters, he survives encounters which many others do not, either due to his own ability or the grace of those around him, but all the same he survives where others, who are deemed more fit to be devil hunters, fail. But I can already hear you saying that this isn't Aki's doing, just the strength of those he surrounds himself with, and the whims of Fujimoto sparing him from death. In response to that I say, attaching yourself to those stronger than yourself is a form of strength, because they essentially become your sword and your shield. Hell, the entire human power system of Chainsaw Man is based around relationships like that. So saying because Aki doesn't have contracts with these people, doesn't mean that he can make use of them is ridiculous, since we haven't seen anything actually empower a contract yet, so as far as we know they're all verbal agreements made by the devils, which go along with them for whatever reason. But if you only want to look at what they can pull out of a hat at any moment, well, first off they have the contract with the cursed devil, which let me remind you was strong enough to take out the Katana Man, if not for his revival by one of his allies. That's a pretty impressive feat given how insane hybrids are in this series. The fact that Aki was able to get in close quarters with such a being in the first place is likewise impressive. Then we have his contract with the future devil, something which allows him to glimpse a few seconds into the future, seemingly without limit, allowing him to react like he's Katakuri from One Piece. When you put these two together you get a super effective combo, where Aki can avoid attacks and see the openings which no one else would be able to. On top of that, the future devil can show Aki visions of the future, which are several days or even weeks away, with some surprising level of accuracy. Imagine if the future devil hadn't been a troll waiting to see Aki's demise, the entire plot could have been resolved with no death whatsoever. Imagine that. The next overlooked powerhouse I'd like to speak about is actually one of the first antagonists in the whole series, namely the Eternity Devil. The devil which even when putting the full of the Chainsaw Man behind it couldn't be killed outright and had to be mentally worn down to the point that it gave up on living any further. But it is not only for this fact of apparently true immortality, at least insofar as it can't be killed without presenting its own weakness. This devil also possesses monumentally world-altering power, capable of twisting space and time, effectively creating a pocket dimension, folding space in on itself and preventing the passage of time. Furthermore, this space becomes the inside of the Eternity Devil's stomach, allowing it to spawn portions of itself seemingly without limit, as well as creating independent avatars within it to lure individuals. But this is only looking at what the Eternity Devil was presented capable of doing in the series. If we take its powers to logical extremes, it could potentially loop time itself, causing an event to play over and over and over again for an eternity, or it could cause the folded space to begin closing in on itself, eventually crushing the target. Or perhaps it could cause the flow of time within its own body to accelerate, meaning that it would effectively age people to death. Also, the Eternity Devil seems to have a near-endless mass, capable of spawning a near-infinite amount of flesh and blood, perhaps owing to being inside of its stomach, that gives it a far superior level of physical abilities than most other devils due to the sheer force of the giant mass. The devil, also independent of blood drinking, has high-speed regeneration, far greater than any devil shown in the series to date. As well as a high level of pain tolerance, being capable of standing up to Denji's assault for extended periods of time without blacking out or immediately giving up. Overall, I just think that it's more powerful than most people bother to give this devil credit for or even realize the potential it has. Honestly, this devil might be the most powerful trap kind of devil in existence. But swiftly moving on to the third and final devil I'd like to talk about in this video. The Zombie Devil. What can I say? Really, what can I say about this guy? I made an entire video about how the Puppet Devil rivals the Control Devil, but I never mentioned the Zombie Devil. Or did I? Either way, that's not important. What is important is the fact that this guy can create an army as quickly, if not more quickly, than Makima or the Puppet Devil, as his zombies can infect others, creating more zombies for him to control. Also, these zombies have an advantage over both Puppets and Makima's pawns in that they are capable of moving and acting even once extremely injured, giving them greater resilience than even Puppets. While we don't know if they can make use of their former contracts, we do know that they can maintain the same level of intelligence as they did before becoming a zombie, meaning that should the Zombie Devil allow it, they can act autonomously. Do you see the advantages in this? A completely free-willed individual, with their own thoughts, feelings, and ambitions, forced to follow your commands no matter what. That's absurdly overpowered in the right hands. It's just unfortunate that the Zombie Devil was both unlucky and an idiot. Another thing to consider is that even after this devil dies, it leaves a permanent effect on the world. The zombies remain active and continue to be able to infect others, meaning that potentially the Zombie Devil could come back to an already active force awaiting them. The fact that no one has considered the potential power of this guy is maddening. I've never even heard of a single person bring up the Zombie Devil as a viable threat, or even mention how interesting its abilities have the potential to be. The whole community just seems set on focusing on Makima and the devils with the power to do as much raw damage as possible, when in reality they aren't the biggest threats, at least not in my option, and we even have proof of that with Makima herself, at the core not being a super destructive force, rather a more subtle one that ended up being directed forcefully. But that's all I have to say about this. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like. If you have your own thoughts on the topic, tell me them down in the comments. If you think of other underappreciated powerhouses, let me know and I might make a video about them too. But regardless, I have been the Anonymous Sweeb and I wish you a good day or night wherever you might be. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and all that jazz. Bye.